Greetings, survivors and friends, SHADOWFRAX here, and it's that most wonderful time of the month again. You know, the one where you get to play with all the latest toys that the elves at Face Punch have been screwing together over the last few weeks, and in this patch we have map markers, horseshoes, and double door skins. But first, okay, so I've covered most of what's in this update in detail already in my vids. Not everything, but let's have a summary of what's now on main, shall we? Horses have had a rework to speed, protection, and storage. They can now wear armour, not of their own accord of course, you still have to help them into it, but there are two types, wooden, which is a default blueprint, and metal, which is a workbench level 2 item, available at the outpost for 100 scrap. Both sets reduce horse speed somewhat, but in an interesting move they provide protection to both horse and rider. And a small clarification needed here, as some of you leapt onto the assumption last week that this would mean you'd be able to achieve over 100% protection, which would be silly. The values don't actually stack. Instead, the horse armour absorbs part of the damage, which then gets passed on to your personal armour, so think of it as an extra layer instead, just like an onion with ears. It may be about as realistic as being able to carry 5 tons of stone in your armpits, but it makes sense from a gameplay perspective apparently, and we'll just have to see what metas, if any, emerge from it. Horses have 4 equipment slots, and you can add storage to them with saddlebags now, which give you 6 slots each. These are a default blueprint, they cost 20 leather a pop, and also reduce speed a bit. Note also that wooden horse armour has 6 storage slots built in as standard. No longer are the different types of horses just reskins of the same basic Neddy, but different breeds now have different speeds, with Black Beauty being the fastest apparently. The git. You can also now equip them with shoes to increase speed, and there are 2 types, basic, which is default blueprint costing 50 frags, and high qual, which you can get at the outpost for 100 scrap and which is a workbench level 1 item. Tesla coils are in the game now. They cost 10 high qual and 1 tech trash to craft at a tier 1 bench and can be purchased at the outpost for 75 scrap. They not only slow players down when on, but will output damage at a rate equal to the amount of power being pumped into them, up to a maximum of 35. However, they do lose health at a hefty 2 per second of use, so if you're running a busy trap base, then you'll need to repair them often. Plus, in a nice quality of life tweak, wires will now display flow direction for players with a wire tool equipped and tool cupboard off. As you should be aware, unless you've been living inside a pumpkin for the last month, Rust's in-game map has had a few new features slapped on it. You can add and remove a single yellow custom marker now by right-clicking, and this will show up on your compass. Also, if you're a team leader, this will be visible as blue to your comrades. In addition, a death marker will appear on the map as a reminder of your most recent tragedy and will only move again when the next horrible event strikes. Probably the best change though is to the death screen, which along with a full breakdown of who killed you, with what, and from how far away, will now display all your bags plus timers and allow you to respawn on one with a simple click. Oh, and streamer mode auto-magically hides the map here unless you press the map key, in case you were getting worried. If there weren't already several quality of life shaped holes in your ceiling, here's another, because a whole wedge of crafting improvements made their way in with this update. You can now favourite items, which will show up in a separate category and appear first in your quick craft menu. You can right click items here to remove them from the queue, and right clicking items in the queue already will move them to the front. Middle clicking also crafts 5. In addition, there are some new stack splitting options, with right clicking allowing you to type in an amount, middle mouse splitting by half, and shift plus middle mouse splitting by a third. You'll also get extra notifications to tell you why something can't be repaired now, if that's the case, and there are a couple of extra keybinds that can be made, if you want, to allow you to drop either a single selected item or the whole stack. Oil rigs were balanced somewhat in this update. All military and elite crates are behind puzzles now, loot spawns have been slightly reduced, and the recyclers have been vaporized, so you'll have to fill up those armpits with whatever will fit and get out of there. On land though, the Excavator had its buckets sharpened slightly and now produces quite a bit more stone, sulfur, and metal ore per minute. There were some weapon balances you should know about. The Spaz had a fire rate increase, the M92 had a decrease, the M39 is available at the bandit camp instead of the L96 now. Shotgun slugs are more accurate and deal more damage, but this falls off by 50% at about 40 meters. Simple sights are default blueprint, and selecting ammo will give you more info about exactly what it does and how much. The screen settings page now allows adjustments to resolution, window modes, And there's an FPS limit slider if you find the game's running way too fast. You can rotate and inspect the dark side of your character in the inventory menu, and there were quite a few other small improvements for admins and cinematographers, which I've covered already, so I'll spare the details of. The team fixed a few things. There were some exploits related to the LERP convar, being able to disarm landmines, free underwater crates, and interact with the excavator from any distance, which should all now be squashed. Impact effects on all vehicles should work properly now. You can no longer drag and throw items when wounded or combine world items of non-full condition, so no more free repairs. You might notice a few changes to sounds, with bears being weightier and attack chopper rotors being a bit more obvious about where they're coming from. Also, Bradley's second top turret is working now, his loot table is juicier, and he's more vulnerable to HV rockets, plus there was a fix to his crates sometimes spawning under the world, which was annoying. It's a works in progress now, and it seems the best place to see the cutting edge of Rust development is over on Facepunch's new Instagram page, where the comments are all so positive. For instance, there's a demonstration of one of the new modular vehicles in action there, along with the vehicle lift that I mentioned last week. We'll still have to wait to see exactly how that's implemented though. There are some nice shots from the HDRP branch, one taken at night, which obviously isn't bright enough for anyone because it's not broad daylight, and another of a snowy scene, which of course means less frames for some reason. There's this wardrobe malfunction, which I'm sure you can figure out the meaning of, and I'm sure we'll be seeing very soon, and a rather sexy collection of pipes, which no doubt will strike fear into your enemies when played through their door flaps. I'll leave a link to this page in the pinned comment, by the way. And lastly, it happened. Double doors are finally skinnable, and to celebrate, the first 4 are available on the store now. What a time to be alive. Did you know I stream on Twitch too? Well, I do. The link's in the pinned comment, along with others that will lead you to my Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and Steam group. Please like, subscribe, lick the notification bell, and I shall see you all soon. But in the meantime, keep calm and stay rusty. Cheerio. Just like an onion with ears.